When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down. Clear sky.
This is the moment you've all been waiting for. It's time!
Hello, hello, hello. Come in, find out, and let's see what all the fuss is about. Doing some WeakAuras developing on the beta today. Gonna do some trash hours for Stone Vault. See how that is going. Okay. Edge. to the people showing by what I'm currently doing. I'm just fixing my add-on. That's hitting WeakAuras for me. Make my life a little bit easier. And some internal WeakAuras changes. Just the versioning. So the generation still works fine. Shit. Set. Hi Selenia. How are you doing? Rebasing my shit. See. Ah, you have been messaging me on Discord. Yes, I have a programming background. I've studied applied informatics, so software development, and I'm currently writing my thesis. And I've also been working for like 9 months, I think, in software development. But I also taught a lot myself by just doing WeakAuras stuff. And just add-on stuff in general. Also in other games. So it's a mix of both having a programming background, like studying it at university, but also teaching myself. Ask about the list and counters on using the spell. It should actually be quite easy. But the other thing, the MRT prior list, that's a bit more complicated, as I haven't personally done any note reading and stuff. Yeah, I mean, for coding, you just have to do some basic stuff, and what you want to do is already pretty advanced. Like the counting stuff is decently easy, but the note reading is definitely not as easy, as you not only need to interact with what the game provides, Also need to read other add-ons stuff, and you also need to like do some string parsing. I guess it's pretty, I don't know if you know what it is, but pretty much you have the node in MRT is just a text block. And you need to somehow extract the information you want from that text block. And it requires you to write some annoying stuff to pretty much match what you want to extract. So that's a bit more advanced, and I haven't personally done any node reading stuff. I don't have a template sitting around or something I could show you. But can touch on the list thing. Cast list something pretty just a counter. Okay, let's do a text over then. Yes. And want to play. Let's first do the trigger. And we need a custom trigger for this. A custom function that works. We go down here, select custom, and we're gonna use a trigger state updater. And what this allows us to do is create multiple states, and each state can hold different information. So can just make a unit list, units in the wait, when they cast the spell. Let me quickly and copy paste. Like this. The Visual Studio thing is blocking. Yeah, you're right. I can just move this here as well. That works. I just wasn't paying attention. So what we want to listen for the event type is the unit spellcast succeeded. Because every time a unit in your raid or aka player or some other thing, like could be nameplates as well, target. But what we want to listen for is just smart group. Is that the filter option here? Let's see. Wait. Just do this for wait. So we're pre-filtering here. This function from WeakAuras, you can pre-filter the event, so only for specific units we get the event fired. We don't have to do as much filtering than we would normally have to do. Like we were always taking some of the filtering and doing this for us. There's the trigger state updates template. I don't want to write this as there. This. Just need a function for what this thing is going to do. More stuff later, but I first catch the appropriate events during the spellcast succeeded is firing. Once we have the unit, that is the unit tag is actually wrong. It's the caster that is casting the spell. And we have the cast GUID, so the GUID, I guess, the correct pronunciation, unsure. But it's basically just a number assigned to each cast, and then the third argument is the spell ID. Now what we want to do is we want to filter for the specific cast. That would have been way easier than what I just did. What we want to do is check if this argument is the spell ID and me. check if it's equal. And if it's equal, forgot to first argument is, but the first few arguments of this. The first argument of the trigger state updater is just the all states table, which is a list or a table value of all available states that we have created in this trigger. And the second one is the event. Also want to filter the event, although this is technically not needed as we only have one event. This is string. So now we're filtering for if it's the appropriate event we want and if it's the spell ID we want. And if it is, we want to first check these brackets. We're using, what are we using as an, we assume that you're not gonna move around. Are you gonna move around? Question is, are you gonna move around your raiders in the groups? It's probably not safe to assume that you're not gonna move around the raiders in the group. So, as we're gonna function. There was get identifier for so we want to do first is get the unique identifier for each unit. This will never change as long as you don't log out, and even then it should be the same for players, I think, unless you rename. So we want to first get that information. And it's that what? Some dev applications.
Hello there.
Yes, actually. Thanks for the follow.
Microphone muted.
Yes, it was actually used on in Sanctum. It's actually also used in WeakAuras and Morose. I don't know why this is the case, but for some reason Blizzard decided that the spell should target the lowest. I think it was the lowest key for ID first, and then just go up from there, or random. I don't remember, but it was for some reason decided, and I think they fixed it for the raid, but they didn't for the dungeon.
Ob ich online spielen will oder nicht. Naja, da wird alles ein bisschen dauern. Upsi.
So what we wanted to do was we have this GUID that is unique, and now we want to check first if you already have a state created for the unit or the GUID that we are creating. And if it is the case, we want to simply increase the counter by 1. So, why is this indented so weirdly? What are we going to use? We are using a static progress. Let's copy this so I don't mistype like an idiot. We don't have a time progress because there's no time part in this situation. We only care about the number. Are we setting the total as well? We could technically... We have two choices. We could either simply show the current number, or we could show the current number out of total cast of this feed thing that happened. I guess it's not really useful to show, so I guess we're just showing the current number. Because the other information is quite useless. So what we're going to do is simply increment this number by 1.
Microphone muted.
So we are incrementing this by 1 if the state already exists. I guess we should also increment total, just to be sure that we're not doing some weird half-as. I need to properly press the correct buttons. Also need to set the changed value to say WeakAuras to update the interface, and then we need to return true. So this only happens if the state already exists. If it doesn't exist, this is going to run. Do we want to hide it ever? No, we don't. So there's no duration or expiration time here because this static value. To say it doesn't exist, set it to 0. Set the total to 0. The name gonna be the unit name. There was a function for this, but I forgot the name. I think it's simply unit name, but better be safe than sorry. Unit name. So here we want to set the name appropriate to the unit. Not that it matters, because we're going to use unit formatting in the display option anyways, but just to, I guess, make it a bit more clear. Also want to set the unit. Then we don't need auto hide, and we don't need any additional progress nonsense here. So this will create a new state for every unit that's casting the spell if it doesn't already exist. And set it to 0. 50. There's like 15 in this thing. Yeah. Source name doesn't exist, of course. To use the GUID. Just put this in an else. Just don't they already list where's the start of the encounter? No. We could technically do that as well, but I mean, it's not gonna really help you much, and it's just gonna clutter the interface for no reason. So we're just gonna do it this way. That's easier for us and also easier for you if you are checking this later. Like we would need to, like, on every time someone joins in the group or the group gets updated, we would need to iterate everything and then just create states for no reason. And like this, we don't have to do this. And I mean, you can just, if the person is not in the list, he has never clicked the button. So I guess that's fine. We still have an error here in line 40. Jump there. What is the issue here? I hate these issues, man. They're so connected to close. What did I forget to close here? Did I copy paste it wrong? Indeed, it is. Oh, I forgot this comma here. Not like the error message was of any help, but I saw the comma. So now we create the states. Now the only thing we technically need to do is figure out the load condition for the first boss in the raid. So it only gets loaded in the fight. Although, if we do that, it gets reset after the fight. Do you want to save it across sessions? Or is it fine if we just do it in one, like, if you log out, the data gets wiped? Because it's a little bit more complicated if we want to also save this across sessions and then check in the next session if, like, what the last data was. And when we go into the next try. Take a look after. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm just thinking about the easiest way. Like, we can't use load conditions that way to only load it during the boss fight. Which means it will show in the entire raid, which will be quite annoying. Like, there's usually not that many areas in boss fight, like instance or zones, like location IDs, I think. Usually it's all one. Yeah, it's just one for the whole raid. Zone name could work, but I don't know what the zone name of that zone is. There's also like child zone IDs that you can filter for, but I don't know the child zone of the raid either. Like, I guess I could go there, but I don't even know what the entrance for the raid is. Like, we're just not gonna worry about this load thing for now, and I'm just gonna check that later. So what you wanna do is, what is the event for engaging boss fight? Unsure about that again. Check the wiki again. Counter engaged or something like that. Encounter start. That's the event. So since we want to reset it, play agent disabled. I mean, yeah, that could also work, but that would also like engage on trash, and we don't want that. We only want to reset on boss. I mean, not that, like, you're gonna randomly kill some trash after you killed the boss, but or tried the boss. Still, just more clean to like to encounter start. So if event is encounter start, and we want to check how many states are there in the states table. And let's copy paste the for loop because I almost forget how to type that. That's the issue. Like, we don't have, like, there is this search API thing now that I guess I should have used earlier to find the unit things, but would have lagged as fuck. Yes. Good, I used the there's snippet here. Basic functions. State update. There's a trigger state update of. Create a new snippet. Oh, it saves the whole thing. No, I don't want to save the whole thing. Is it an error? Stack overflow, nice. Perfect. I didn't want to create a stack overflow. I only wanted to check if there's now we want to do this. 8 in base. And then we are iterating over every
Hey,
stage.
you just wasted your money. Lol in chat.
Thank you for donating. Very kind of you. You are very welcome. Actually gonna be hard to test this if it's going to work, because I might have messed a small thing up. But we will check that later. Worry about this later. And first, like, get the basics going. And what we want to do now is, like, we want to iterate all the states we have in our all states table. And then for every state, we want to set the value back to 0. Although, should we delete the state or just reset the value? We could just set it to 0, but then if someone leaves after the try, or you kicked someone because you messed up or something, I don't know, had to go to the door or whatever, and he's still gonna be in the list, just with a value of 0 now. I think we should just remove the state entirely. State. It's important that we spell this correctly. Hype, man. Then we want to return true, so the interface knows it needs to update. Technically, we would only want to return true if something actually changed. But it's such a minor performance difference that checking for this is actually... It was pretty bad before, but this got fixed in some WeakAuras version a long time ago, so... Like, I'm not entirely sure if this works or if we need to... Wait, no, we need to use pairs, I think. Quickly check. Because it's a table. Yeah. It's not how... I always forget how iterating in Lua works. To check for this, and then we need to check all states of states. Not sure. So now we reset all the states on encounter start, and we have created our thing that should just add values or create states if there's no state with, that was previously created. Oh, we need to also return to here. Almost forgot, that would have been bad because we would have never gotten any states and then there wouldn't be anything showing. So now we created the trigger. The trigger's done. It should work. It's untested, obviously, but it should work fine. Now we use the custom variables and tell it to also use the unit that we set up. I also want to... Did we set something else? Yes, we set the name as well, but the name is not really required. So what we're doing now is telling the interface what variables we have set in the trigger state. So we have once set the name. Since this is a default value, we only need to tell it that this is set and that it can use this. if we were to use a custom like variable and would have put anything else, selected a table. What? Type that incorrectly? Should work, I think. Might have typed that incorrectly. Or should be correctly. Like name exists, obviously. But why do we not see the unit being active? Why is this erroring? Shouldn't. Like this works fine, right? Using the unit, this should also work, but I guess it is not one of the default things available. Should be though. Yeah, unit in it's general for the game. It's not only WeakAuras. Like in your macros, if you macro like for your player or your target, you also put these unit IDs in. Like it's general thing from the game. It just provide like information of what you're targeting. Like weight, party, player target, nameplates as well. Arena also, those are also units. And group is different from party, from raid, but you already mentioned this. So, so what we still need to check why this was working. I'm pretty sure this should work. I guess I can just check my other hour. Import that. I didn't. Import it. I need to fix this anyways. I'm on some point. Rather completely rewrite the thing because it's awfully made. So how did we set up the variability? Didn't. Don't need to set this. This works by itself. Does. Interesting. Okay, never mind then. We don't need to set this because it already works. Better now. And now what we want to show is we want to show the unit. And then we want to show total amount. It also showed just the current amount, but since this is the same, we can use total amount. I guess we also want to like this in the middle. And now what we could do, since there's no real preview for this, right? We can add a specific preview thing for the trigger. And for that, we would want to listen to the options event. We have that here, so I can easily copy paste it. Is this so fucking small, man? But I definitely have it here. Oh, because this is not a custom trigger anymore, no. But what we want to do is listen for the options event. Not options, actually. So use comma here. Option. Let's just create some fake states here so we can get a small little preview. So let's use an else here. Make this a little bit more performant. Not like it matters much, but we're returning anyways. So want to check now. We're in the options. Indentation. When we're in the options event, just create a bunch of states that basically don't show anything, but just have a small preview going on. Just gonna create... I guess we're just gonna create one state for the player. There you go. And let's create the state. I'm just gonna set it at a random value of 7, because why the fuck not? Did an error. That argument new. Shit. Obviously need to play here, because we're not getting any arguments on the options event. This. Auto hide, where did I copy paste this? This should also not be here. I could delete those, but I can't on the stupid beta version. Please wipe. Oh, it worked. Cool. So, what we did now was create some fake states on the options event, or rather one fake state for the player, and are just gonna return it. And now we have this double point and 7 here. Not quite sure why this unit. We obviously don't have a unit here again. Good by me. We're setting it to null. Obviously need to set it to player. And now we have player 7 here. And what we need to do as well is now use the formatting option to format our unit to the player. And I guess we're also gonna add some class color just to make it a little bit more fancy. Guess we're gonna increase the size of the font. But like a decent font, I guess we can use like 25, I guess. Maybe a little bit big, but you can change this later easily. But now we have this test version that already works. Got the if again. Like, this is very minor improvement because it doesn't actually do much. That's it. Forget an else. Why is this indentation so weird? Cancel this. Not really a helpful improvement anyways. Closing this. Closing this. Something weird is going on here, and I'm not quite sure why this is the case. Oh, I think it's... yeah. Got like this and it's together, not apart. That's why it didn't work. Like, what the fuck, why isn't it working? It happens if you write Java code the whole day and then you're suddenly switching to Lua and it doesn't work. Very surprisingly. So now we fixed this bug as well. But this minor improvement, I guess. Technically we don't need this name thing because we're using the unit formatting anyways, but I'm just keeping it here for as an example. So now we would have to test this. Testing this is actually quite impossible, but we can fake the event with scan events and just test if this generally improves the encounter. Scan events, let's quickly make a macro for this. Events, there we are. So what we're doing now is like creating a small test run. Indeed, most cutting edge guild would prefer having someone like the Liquid people working for them. But I personally don't really enjoy waiting anymore. I see, I just accidentally reload a Visual Studio thing again. Like, I used to do some cutting edge raiding, but it was in BFA. And I didn't really enjoy it that much. Sound is played delayed the same time. What? Wow. Shouldn't. You maybe have accidentally have the stream open twice or something? Because I'm not hearing myself twice. Like I just opened the stream, the test, and it doesn't play twice, I guess. Let's go back here. Wanted to do this test. Like what we currently use, what we are now using is the scan events function. That's basically doing some fake stuff. It's basically what WeakAuras uses to send the events internally to all the auras. And we can also use that function. Normally you only use it for like sending information between auras and stuff. Name now. Stream open with sound as well. I don't. I opened it earlier to check. But even if I did, it wouldn't play because I have some virtual sound cables. I mean, checking the sound. I only have to. I can mute the music as a test. That was the donation page. Ah, I see. So it did have it open twice. That's a preview. Well, mystery solved. Yep. In the future. What we wanted to do was test this. So, what were the events? The first event, then we have the unit. Our unit is player. And then we have the cast GUID. That's completely irrelevant. So we're just gonna null. Then the correct spell ID that we want to return. So this number here. Now we're closing this, and if I send this command, this should work. Hopefully, if we didn't break anything. Broke something. I didn't format a macro correct. Right. That's a different error, because I forget. Anyway, one thing, and then they run the other thing. So. Oh, I still fucked it up. Redux error and script. Okay, let's quickly get this in the code editor. This. It should work now. We're gonna use Visual Studio Code to debug this. In-bug editor doesn't want fatality. Connected near end of. Somehow not copying or what? Shit. Technically, how can this be? How can this be? Now I'm. Is it wrong? With dots instead of commas or what? Check here. And events. Oh, we have an extra space that we don't need. Was this the one? Check. but there's no... Oh. That's the issue. That's what we are supposed to do. Okay, now we didn't error at least. That's nice. Quickly clear the bugs. Oh no, we don't want to clear the bugs because we have an error in our function. Was it earlier? I'm unsure. Let's quickly reload just to make sure we didn't bug it out earlier. Still throwing some error. Okay, this is working fine now, I think. All right, we're creating it for the player, and the player obviously isn't a raid unit, so it can't. Here, it's important to test, as we also need to include the player, because the player is not a raid unit. Although technically we don't need this, but for our testing this makes our life easier. It's pretty... Since it's not working, let's add a print here to see the event. Now status is firing. Is it now firing if we send the event? It is not. Click on. Oh, I forgot to put in events here. Perfect. Still not working. Why not? It's unloaded. It's not. It's work. We fuck something up in here. No. It could be. Has succeeded. Because of the missing. No, the encounter start is only wiping the data. We don't even get here. Like, we're not even jump into the function. And I'm currently unsure why this is the case. Like, it should. Like, we added the play. Maybe I formatted the test function incorrectly. The issue with testing weirdly, like we're getting in there on the status and the options event. So technically we also should get there on the spellcast succeeded event, but we are not. We're just gonna remove the filters here just to check if it generally fires, and then I'm just gonna cast a random spell. Okay, so with the spell we get there. We also get there with the event. We do. So our filtering was incorrectly. I also want to print spell ID to make sure we're correctly there. R38 to... Oh yeah, it should. So it should be here, right? Let's check. Here. Very creative. I wish there was a debugger, but there isn't. Oh, we don't get there. Either event is this, or the spell ID check. The spell ID check maybe could be incorrectly right now because we're not using. Right, we're using a string. This might be the issue. And it's me. Navigate here. Correct. Now it works. We okay, we initiated it incorrectly actually, because we start on 0 if you cast it the first time, which is stupid because you actually casted it already, so you should be at 1. But we at least can increase the counter whenever we're casting the spell. This works. But what we want to do is start at 1 instead of starting at 0. Also remove stupid prints. Maybe we can figure out why this filtering didn't work. And use to define which colons. Really colons and not. Didn't it work? Okay, in addition to maybe you can include RT. It's odd. Why didn't it work? Shoot. There you are. And which very confused. This should work. Like, this is exactly the same, and this definitely works. Maybe this is because... Maybe this doesn't work when I fake the unit and it's not an actual unit. This could be. I guess we're just gonna not pre-filter for now, but this might be something you want to change later on to make this more perform better. Because oftentimes bosses, and especially if it's a boss with a bunch of trash, which I don't know, it spams the heck out of those events, and you don't want it. You only want to check the least amounts you can. Check. What boss? First boss. We somehow see this one. Bosses and they're stupid. Yeah, we're not getting strategies in here. Oh, we are. Skill tip. Ah, there it is. But now we would need to test this in an actual wait to see if we have missed anything. If I kill around 15 ads, I drop something. I see, so there is ads. Like 15 is a bunch of ads actually. So we would definitely want to only filter it on greater party units, but I can't test this with my secret hack. Or either that or it's bugged. And if it was bugged, that would be something I would need to create a ticket about for the developers to fix. You currently test the rate. Can you go in? There's not any groups anyway, so nothing we can do to test this. So I guess we would leave it at this for now. And then check it later if this works. We would also still need to figure out the zone ID. Where was it? Like the child zone ID, if there's a zone name or something. Sure. I can export it and then you can test it. And Like as I said, the only things you would want to change anyways is you definitely want to add the zone ID. Where the fuck is it? Like if you figure out the zone ID for the wait, or not for the wait, for this boss only, like if there's a boss area or something, you can't use encounter ID, which would normally be the preferred way because you only want to show it after the boss. So this doesn't work. And then you would want to also add the filters here, like we just saw, like with this colon and then wait, and also player. But this doesn't work for my testing, so I guess I'm leaving it out for now, just so you can make sure it works. I'm gonna export it and share the hour with you. Also gonna not delete it locally until I have it exported.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different, man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable. You're
Let me also include a link to the bot so people can look back and see how this hour created if they want to.
You just gonna take that, make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that, or will you fucking fight back? Or will you fucking fight back? You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds. Talking out loud so proud, you better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head south. You're never gonna make it, there's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but
The boss card again. Got WeakAuras the Devourer. WeakAuras. Welcome. Sure, I can give you a quick overview about the add-on. Like, it's going really well. You can already select stuff that you want to export. Let's open this. Yeah, as a tank, it's quite annoying because oftentimes you have these spammy stuff that you don't really care about. Like, you only want to select the most important stuff. Like, it's always important that you, if you're downloading a pack, no matter what spec, what role or class you're playing, you should always go in there and see what you need, or what also is a possibility. Disable the entire pack. Like, go into the options and go to load. Never. Is it here? And then you just go back in there after you see a mechanic, and you think like, I was just, is it? I was just doing, I don't know. Let's take Freehold. I was doing first boss, and I was always struggling with this dive bomb mechanic because I didn't see it. I didn't know when it was happening. So now I have this dive bomb mechanic that I have a weak aura for that is disabled. Now I'm gonna enable it. And now I can see clearly what's going on. That's the same idea with the add-on. Like you can disable entire... Technically you can disable entire expansions if you want to. You can disable entire dungeons. You can disable specific things in the dungeon. You can disable the trash mobs or some bosses. And you can also disable specific mechanics. But it's a little bit of time that's involved in going over this. Like it's not plug and play. Because you have so many different options and many people like different things. It also depends on the key level you're doing. Like a mechanic that you're totally gonna ignore, like +2 or +5 key, is gonna one-shot you on a 25. So you need to track this. Or something else that you might want to see if you're a lower key gamer and just want to be warned when there's like some, I don't know, some AOE fear going on. Want to be reminded when you're in the dungeon for the first time, but after like 50 times you already know you need to kick this ability. So you don't need this warning anymore. You can also technically switch between different types. Currently you can only select between bars and icons. But those are the most important times anyway. You're rarely gonna use any text hours anyways. So can you... Already, I'm here again. Text hours are very rarely used. Models might even be removed with the War Within, because Blizzard broke a lot of functionality using models. I guess you can use progress textures. Those could be something that I could add. And stop motion maybe. But currently it's only icons and bars. You can also like disable some sounds. Because people like sounds in generally, but sometimes you don't want to either switch the sound for like when I don't know, a frontal is happening, you don't like the frontal spoken sound and want instead like an air horn blowing into your ears or something, or you want to disable the sound entirely for every mechanic that's used. So this is also an option I included. And then you can use like general stuff that you can easily also change in the options window itself, I guess. But can like position the hours like where you want them. I currently have them here just so it's easier for streaming stuff. Fatality, I got an error. Nice. I need to fix this. Point failed because the family can this because I put it in the same space again to like an example here. But you can like change the grow option. This is all standard WeakAuras stuff that you can change. It's just easier to create on a group level before you export it. It even has auto updating feature, so it will try to best match when updating so you don't lose your settings. But it doesn't work all the time, so it's not perfect yet. But that is generally the idea. And what I've done for War Within yet? Oh, not quite. Currently most dungeons are finished. I'm missing like trash mechanics for both Dawnbreaker and what's Grim Battle? What the old Cataclysm dungeon is called? I think it was Grim Battle. Those are still missing that I need to like create. But the rest, every boss is done. The Shadowlands dungeons are already also done with the trash. I haven't kept up with the new changes in the older dungeons. And I obviously couldn't test it yet because I don't have time to like also do a bunch of keys on the beta. I have too many projects going on so that I'm not deeply testing it. So if you're doing some beta keys at some point, feel free to like download the beta or alpha version of the add-on and just let me know if you find anything broken or something. So yeah, I'm gonna continue down the. Need to like find a way to also show logs on the screen. I definitely will. Nice. Sounds awesome. I like need to find a way to also display logs, because I'm oftentimes when creating these hours for dungeons, I'm sitting here with the logs open and looking at logs half the time, and there's not really anything visible for you, because I'm only showing the game. And like I have this thing that automatically swaps between screens. Someone is ringing at the door. I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Some telecom people trying to sell me glass fiber, but I'm not paying for them to build their shit. Also, I already have a gigabit Leitung. I don't need faster internet. I need working internet, but that's hard in Germany. The anchor is still showing. I wanted to hide it. Oops. Option. If we allowed. They do it at the door. Yeah, I've never seen this before either. I've seen them like going like throwing flyers into my post box, or just doing some stands in like the this Fußgängerzone in English. I have no idea. I don't know if this even exists. I quickly check. I guess city center could be one that you could use. I mean, yeah, you're gonna understand Fußgängerzone, but still. Trying to keep it here international for the people. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to like keep it English so other people can also rewatch this and like get some knowledge about WeakAuras, because most people that are interested in this, at least from the AMAs I did, were English. I obviously also did the AMAs in English, but so what I originally wanted to do was create these trash hours, and I was talking about the logs that are not visible while I am sitting in those logs constantly or checking on Wowhead. I think I also already did those. Put them into the wrong. Oh no, I opened the wrong dungeon. I'm not in Stonewall, I'm in Dawn of the Infinite. Dawnbreaker, not Dawn of the Infinite. That's our dungeon. Finish to run. Why is nobody finishing run in these dungeons? Everyone is just canceling them. Oh, there's a +2. An hour in the +2. That sounds like a fun experience. Maybe that's the case when no one is finishing this dungeon, because it's impossibly hard. They are taking an hour in a +2 key. So now we are somewhere. So Björn also has the advantage to make my life in creating these hours easier. The key where the trash packs are just brutally packed with stuff that do. Yeah, I've seen that also. I've also seen that they like said they know that there's an issue with the amount of CC being required. So their solution to this is just making stuff not CCable and you just get fucked by the spells. They could also just go back to like EFA level and just remove some spells from the mobs. Like not every trash mob needs to have like 15 casts. Cast instant was an... I mean, yeah, some cast instant. I guess they can easier balance this. Because now they have to go through. So they can turn down the damage, but still it's... I don't know. It's weird. I'm not the fan. Can't type ID. Or targeted cast. The dot. Is interruptible. I think so.
Yeah. I spit raps like a heart attack. Fast, fatal, hard impact. Past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and packs. I back up my actions. Fact, don't ask, grab reactions. Jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused. Call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost.
Like Casiso also did some testing. I saw him. Like he said yesterday or something. And he tested that like in Mist of Tier side, the big guys in the I guess puzzle area or whatever you want to call it, that do this AoE circle thing that you need to run out of that you could stun previously. You can still stun, but they recast the spell. They're just running as a melee, just running away from them, sitting around like an idiot, not being able to attack. And you can't do anything about it, and I don't know if this is a good change. Why am I cool? All this guy's like pull bar. I mean, yeah. Vengeance DH is definitely very powerful currently with all the CC they have. I mean, with blood you at least have more than you did previously on Brew, but it's still... Like, it's so insane the amount of CC you... Like, when was this? Like, 2 seasons ago? The tank in our group was playing a Brewmaster. And then he had no time for a while because he was turning in his Master Thesis. So we were pugging a lot with, like, random tanks. And when he wasn't there for, like half a day and we were doing, like, random tankies, like, we did, like, 3 keys higher. Simply because we invited the Vengeance Demon Hunter. Like, the difference is insane. Like, we previously were doing like 23s or something, and then we invited the Vengeance DH and was just that did 26 keys. Yeah, Aug as well. Yeah, but we didn't have an Aug. We instead played Retribution Paladin and Frost Mage, and what was I playing? I think Demon Hunter was that season, yeah. Havoc. Yeah, definitely, but you don't have to look out, do like stuns, interrupt your casts to kick. Casting is crazy easier. But it's also for the tank, it's super hard. He has to do like 55 things at once. Yes. Like, I'm personally not tanking or playing tank because it's not really what I enjoy. Like, I do it in low keys and just run around pulling like half the dungeon and just not doing anything. But not really something I personally enjoy on a higher level. But like, it's incredibly difficult to like do it correctly. Of course, you can just run in and just like try to somehow survive like one group. And I guess it worked decently, but to really do it well, it's gonna be hard. It's like in raid, like just doing normal raiding stuff on a tank is quite easy, but if you go into world first tanking, you're gonna explode. I need to grab a quick oil my voice. Okay, I'm back. Tanking in Throne of Thunder? Yeah, you get stuck on tank, yeah. That happens to a lot of people actually. I feel like tank is the least favorite role of... Like there are some people that love tanking. And they do it in every game, or at least on every class and every season, but a lot of the people I know that tank are just like, no one wanted to do it, so now I am tanking. Yeah, the attendance part is also a problem. Usually the person that's always there is the idiot that has to tank. Good luck. Yeah, the tank has this counter progression. Like usually as a DPS, or I guess healers have this as well, but as DPS you always have this, if progression gets easier or you're going to farm, you can still like do DPS, see how high you can push, but as a tank you're just not going to die anymore. Like our raid leader usually, what he does is he tries to tanking the weirdest bosses. Or like they play as two tanks, but then one of the tanks just sits around while the other tank tanks the boss as long as possible until the other, like until he's almost dead, and then the other tank has to die. To what? But like this is also only enjoyable for the one tank that is doing it. The other tank is like sitting there and like, what am I doing here? I could basically leave. Like tank is either super insanely hard or boring as fuck. Like there is no middle ground, I feel like. Well, why everyone in this dungeon called a Nightfall? Nightfall Curse. Take shadow and take the caster that takes stacks. Don't care. There's a shadow mage and grab something to eat. Enjoy your lunch. You are very welcome. Thanks again for the donation. And I hope you enjoy your food. I hate those bold abilities. Why do they keep making bold abilities? Wait, bold abilities are always interruptible. Should fix those spelling issues. I never decide how to spell interrupt. That is quite bad. Spell ID. Fix something. This ensnaring shadow state. Picking a target. Acting shadow damage. The movement. Just move. Is this? I'm not sure. Works, but that's why testing exists.
All day and all night, we'd stay up, it felt so right. We were so young, we were so dumb. We would get drunk and then hook up. We were okay, we were alright, staying awake till the sunrise. We were in love, couldn't stop us, like a good drug, never run. We'd hook up in my car, drive it so far, play your guitar, you'd show me your art, let down the guards, think with our hearts, stare at the stars. We were never apart, drinking too young, way too much fun, out in the sun, open when it's gone. Took you to prom, dance to our song, dance all night long till the lights come on.
It's far. Oh. See if we have to change this later though. Nightfall Tactician. Eh. Web test.
It's too late now, I remember everything.
Always hard to tell. There's no keyword. Slams the ground, inflicting 40 shadow damage. Snaring targets, yeah. Who is the target? Like some ground void? This is like some targeted spell. I'm unsure what's happening. Tactician's Rage. I wonder how many of those are in the packs for Tactician. I don't know. It's not just do anything for it. It's like there's a lot of them. Web board. Nice. Ooh. Sorry. Couldn't mute myself in time, but at least I didn't. Web board. The board. Abilities are great. One in points. Don't you enjoy bold ability? I definitely do. Bursting cocoon. Targeting bubbling threads, inflicting after 6 seconds. I see. Great ability. Bomb cast. Is this a bomb? I guess this could be a bomb. Technically called a cocoon, but isn't a cocoon just a bomb in disguise? So, answers that no one needs. Done as well. The night fallen. Does this then offer to us? Tormenting Ray. Shunt's Shadow. What the fuck is Shunt's Shadow magic? Never heard the word Shunts. Don't even know how to pronounce this. Let's check. Google, help me out. Shunt. Thing. Done the new. Go. Get away. My face, please. Yes, we are shunting targeted gas into people's faces. To the people stopping by, what am I doing currently? I'm currently creating dungeon hours for the War Within. Currently, I'm working on the crash for Dawnbreaker. And I'm currently going through logs, checking what abilities the mobs are casting and what's the most appropriate type in my add-on. Because my add-on is creating the auras for me. And it just makes my life a little bit easier in creating, and also for users, they can also use this feature. I wanted to open the add-on window. Use this feature to select what options they want and which dungeons they want to create. For example, if there's any bosses they want to exclude or the trash, and they can even select individual hours they want to create, how they should look, and some other options that you would usually have to edit on an individual aura level that you can like edit before the hours even get created. You can also like change the sound for specific types or just disable them completely, and it even does have auto updating that we can quickly relog here. Boiling voice again. If the loading screen would be done today, we could see this. And what we're seeing is that I made an error earlier. and therefore it doesn't work. Wrong error. Count 75 expected to 74. What? It's not saved. I rebased this. This shouldn't have been true, but it was. Relog again. I could technically move this that it doesn't only check on login, but this makes reloads way faster. Because there's no need to check for updates after reload usually. And this just is a little bit better for your performance. While you're running keys, for example, or something. But that means I currently need to relog every time to test. But what I wanted to show initially was that... Hello? Alright, so that it also has auto updating, and that you can easily update stuff without having to manually do anything. When there's a change to the add-on, I've added something, or you have changed something, for example, it will automatically show up here, and you can import it normally like you would any other update for your hours. This is another bug that I already fixed, but somehow I didn't make it into the War Within version. Let me quickly fix this as well. Let's go. Corresponding parts of the add-on. Where is my templates? There it is. Yeah, gonna go to OS. Because what we are missing is just minimum and then just maximum. Oh, did you autocorrect? Max, perfect. And both should be an empty string. What am I changing right here? I'm currently changing stuff that the WeakAuras devs changed in the add-on, and I need to keep up to date for it, or it will just... When every time you log in, it will show as an update, although it's not really an update. It's just stuff I missed. And so I'm changing it. So now when we relog, we should once again only get the stuff that I changed in the add-on and not some stuff that the other devs changed. Fixed. That was. So now these are only the changes that I've changed some stuff here because I changed the type. Do we need an update? I mean, technically we don't need to, but showing that. editing process has really gotten slower with the later versions. It used to be way faster. Like this is just 130 hours. Usually this would have been done in like 5 seconds. And not whatever this is. I mean, it doesn't really matter much, but So, let's get back to creating these OAs. We're in vegan seeds, right? Ah, C. Here. Yes, we are just calling this another bump. Oh, are we? No, it's not a bump. It's spread. Almost punched my microphone. Oh, spread. There we are. Let's fix those. Fix those. Is that no one needs? Oh, wait, thank you. To set the name, sting a seed, and also Sprady, and it's the nameplates casting this. It is a matching debuff. The rest is correct. Close this down, so paste clicked. Close this. A better overview about what's happening. Let's go to the next mob then. He is called a Nightfall Curseblade. Again. Already made stuff away. Animated Darkness. The animated darkness has a cool bolt ability that everyone loves. Are you a bolt enjoyer? Or waster? Hello. Probably best space. Guess I'm just gonna this, and it's a little bit easier to read. All right. Fixing this spell. And that was Nightfall Darkcaster. I select multiple mobs with different unit and our NPC IDs. I think the same spells. That's weird. Have a targeted cast into dot again. Love targeted cast. Useful blast. Oh, the wrong unit here. Good, I added something else because we're not. This is not a spell cast by the boss. It is cast by traps. So Dark Orb. What does this spell? The sphere of pure darkness, which travels until impact. Loading for 35 shadow damage to all players, decreasing in damage as the orb travels. Ah, I see it. Follows someone. Cast, chased. I think I already have this. Cast by whom? Are they starting to use these trash mobs? Yeah, that's this spell. They are starting to use these trash mob abilities that teach you about boss fights in dungeons as well. Interesting. And fire type. I'm gonna copy paste it just to be sure I accidentally type something incorrectly. But still, this is interesting that they are starting to do this. I like it. Yes, Screamer Ick Talk. Or is this the dungeon where you have to kill the ads to get to the boss? Dawnbreaker? Might be actually. Okay, this is a private hour anyway. I guess only on the boss maybe. But we will see. But then this whole thing is useless. You have to delete that later. This. Manifest shadows, black hail. It's the area. Dark comets. The 3 hands of image impact. Try to not get hit by those. Black hail ability that we are. The next spell is Abyssal Rod. Oh, it's a targeted spell again. Leaves a dot. Wait. Abyssal Blast and Abyssal Rod exist and both do the same thing. Great. I think they even have the same icon. At least it looks very similarly. Nightfall Shadow Mage. What did you? Dark Architect? We haven't met you today. What is this Architect doing? Tormenting Eruption. Blast shadow magic into targets for 6 seconds. Inflicting 8 shadow damage plus an additional 10 shadow damage to additional targets. Within 5 yards. Okay. Is he like, how many targets is he selecting? Or is it just like generally everyone and then he just have to spread to not get hit? Like, this mechanic would require me to do testing. Figure this out, but I don't really want to do testing or have time to do every dungeon, to be honest. Multiple times. Usher Reinforcement. That sounds like, just from the name, he's summoning ads. Oops, I got too close to the microphone. Oh, sorry. Brings forth additional Order of Night members to assist. These begin with reduced health and Usher Reinforcement heals the missing amount over time. I see. So there's some useless mobs that you have to quickly kill before they get healed. The mechanic. So, this as well. The next on the list. That was the Dark Architect. Now what is Ascended Viscoxia? The name. Doing Abyssal Blast again. We already did this. Shadowy Decay. Arc Magic. What does this mean? Does he do it in like a circle? Where does he outpour those dark magic? I'm gonna just say it's this. This might be completely wrong, but it's just a guess. Someone knows this spell. Seen it maybe. Or played the dungeon itself. Please let me know. We're gonna do Iskrat, whatever the fuck. Names are hard to pronounce. Abyssal Blast again. Terrifying blast target. Knocking them back. Targets within 50 yards, fearing them for 2 seconds. Is this like something on the tank? Like, I'm not sure if this is something on the tank that you need to dodge, or if this is some cast that you need to kick. Could be both, to be honest. Like, it could be this. Don't think it is. Let's just for now assume this is a good question. Limited range. X. I guess just 50 yards. But let's sit down, because I'm currently on a standing desk. Better when I'm sitting. Okay, the tape is down and I'm sitting again. I hope the sound is still fine. And my microphone isn't cutting out. Can we move it better? Like this, maybe? So, to the people that just turned in, I'm currently working on dungeon hours for War Within. I'm currently checking for Dawnbreak, and I'm sitting at some ad called Iskrat, the Unbreakable. Currently trying to figure out what Terrifying Slam does. I don't have video footage of this, only logs, so it's a bit hard to tell what this does. Because what the spell says is blast the target for physical damage, knocking them back, and additionally inflict damage to targets within 15 yards, fearing them. The question I'm having is, is this 15 yards around the target he's blasting, or 15 yards around himself? And also, is this something you can kick, or is this just something you have to avoid? And does it also fear the person who's targeted, or only other people? guess we just assume that it's something you need to avoid for now. I don't really know. Type. Exactly. Not creeping one. Not terrifying slam. The following is spell ID. The boss, it's a nameplate doing those casts. Okay, so we need to remove. Now, let's go to the next one. The Night Fallen Commander. Using tainted gashes a target, inflicting physical damage, bleeding them for physical damage every 0.5 seconds. This affects stacks. Hey, that's... I didn't want to... Yep, that's where I want to go. God. This might just hit the tank and then targeted cast is the wrong type. But it's also visible in logs. Or is it? Can I jump out? Check. Oh, there it is. Target. Mostly the tank. Once the mage and once the warlock. The question now is, was it on the mage or warlock because the tank was dead? Good question, but I could also check like this for the slam. Yeah, the slam is always on the tank. Okay. It was on mirroring. Should really look into a way to like show logs as well. I don't really know how I'm going to do this, because there's like only so much screen real estate I can use. Maybe someone has an idea, please let me know. But like it's quite boring right now. You're not seeing what I'm doing and I'm just clicking through logs, trying to figure out what is happening. No, but I wanted to do is I want to show stacks. Second time, this is also not magic, this is a belief. Already do the did. Good ideas. Like we paste this down here, that's should be up here. Ability can't type. Add this cast as well. Oh. Command. Yeah. Okay. The commander, the Shadow Walker. Reiki Militant. I pulling them to the caster. What? The hook ability. Man, am I basically having to the wrong thing? So, thing. And winning, mining. Okay, this spell done. The next, guys. Trekinova. Ekinova. Swaps, mobilizing players within 20 yards. That's an easy to understand ability. Going into the game. That's a easy to understand ability. I get what it does. It's no confusion. Where you need out. Reroute you. You don't. Silken Shell. That's invulnerable. Damage taken by 30%. It is definitely. Dispellable, but is this also? I just got cheated. Guess that's easier to understand what is happening. Cast. Shield on their face. I hope it's interruptible. If it's not available, and we need to change the type. Okay, there was Silken Shell. Another Shadow Walker. Is this Shadow Walker like different things? Okay. And that we're done with all the trash in this dungeon. Nice. You need to create any new things. Best if this is right. Update. Okay, what's the name of the dungeon? Breaker. What a not name for this dungeon. Up. Precious Sword King, perfect. I need to figure out what the location IDs for things are. Like this is definitely not correct. It's not location 14,971. No, it's not 1400, it's 14,000, but that's still incorrectly. Like it should be something along the lines of 2,300 and like 10 maybe 15, I don't know. Going up here. Don't think that's. Also looks like the map doesn't. Right? Perfect. No map for this dungeon. Else has a dungeon. Stormbreaker. Stonewall has one. It does not. What? I think also. And do those not have a map? So odd. I mean, they technically still have 2 months to go, but other seems to have maps. One has a map. Not like the ones that are not in M Plus maps, but the one that doesn't yet. Worry about this later. Check. Baton or something. But I haven't done yet, so let's continue there. Let's find the logs for this dungeon. Get me out. Baton, there we are. There's like 10 mobs in this dungeon, what? I mean, could be. Whole dungeon. Would be very surprising, but let's double check this. Other enemies cast. There's not that many enemies in the dungeon, but I guess it's an old dungeon. Sense. Let's see, what is this Trinite Boot guy doing? Some obsidian something to run out of. Sounds very like a dance mechanic. Like, where am I? No. Get me back to Quimbleton. Idiot, stop. I wonder if this dungeon is going to be like the Shadowmoon Burial Grounds of the next season. Does someone know if they changed aquatic? Because if they didn't, if there's still the weapon enjoyers out there, we're gonna have not really a great time because this dungeon is gonna be like 5 times easier than anything else again. Okay, this looks like a tank buster. So to the people that maybe just joined in or others that were AFK for a while, what am I currently doing? I'm creating dungeon hours for the War Within. Currently working on trash abilities for Grim Patrol. And I'm doing this by using my own add-on that generates hours directly for you. It's a little bit easier for me to create and even easier for people to import than using like the popular packs on Wargo. But I'm also hosting them there, so you can also import the hours there directly if you want. Reminds me, export the for the trash. Thing here. Good. Unboard. That is. Change the config. Did it. Again. Let's continue on our adventure into Noel. This gonna detect this. You know, with the faceless corruptor who's doing like 90% less cast than that other guy. What does he cast? He casts Mind Piercer. Summons Mind Piercing Tentacles, inflicting damage, players within 4 yards of impacts and charm them. I see. Also put as advanced mechanical. Mind Piercer is not Mind Ear. So, next spell is cool. I'm going to. This is a channel actually. Should be into after. Let's go. Good. Spell. Ava. Bending all the left. Shattered it. Every of those mobs that at least yes. Give our mobs only one spell, that's and dark illusion. Master causes shadow lava erupt other targets. Air damage to all players with that we want to avoid this. Technically it's a I guess it could be worth cast target with success depending on how long it takes for the hit. Issue I constantly test these. Maybe look to get like a group like test though. We don't know anyone is up. I think you're testing these things. Continue on our Ascension. Caster becomes Shadow Flame Ascendant. Damage to all players within 8 yards on Ascendant emits launching heat. Damage to play Shadow Flame damage to all players every 5.2 seconds. Okay, so something with next week. Pass into Endeavor for okay, let's. There we go. Not 3, it's 5 point. Very detailed. Normally it's not the deep, but also the buff says 2 seconds, but the tooltip says 5.2 seconds, so I'm a little bit confused on what the correct number actually is. Twilight Destroy. Oh yes. That's the target. I can already see the ball mechanic here. Twilight inflicting. Also, it's Twilight Ember. Fuck is Twilight Ember. Oh, it summons things and so forth. On the bottom. Gonna grab quick doing to oil my void. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm back. Continue with Umbral Wind. Caster unleashes a wave of Umbral Winds, inflicting shadow damage to all enemies and knocking them back. Knock. Pass. Don't waste these stupid empty spaces. Need to install a proper linter. This is stupid. Don't want to manually delete spaces all the time. This tank, not all the other tank. Implant to this. Thing is done. Twilight Diner. Be a mind. Sounds like a targeted cast. Cast a challenge power on the target, stunning them, inflicting shadow flame every 1 second. See as sufficient. I love these tooltips that say for until cancelled. It's always great. These Shadow Flame Bolt. Okay, love it. Hard spell. Its spell says inflicts Shadow Flame damage, and then it also a buff that inflicts Shadow Flame damage. I just assume this is also interruptible, although technically 3 seconds cast is a long time for old type ability. That's odd. Like usually they cost like 1.5 seconds maybe, and not seconds. Yes. Iron Light Overseer. Ashes as desired, inflicting its physical damage taken by 20% for seconds. This effect stacks great. Damage taken. Damage taken debuff. Your target class into the 19. Guess we're gonna use this. And not a big type. But we want to tags the debuff. At the Reckless tactic. 0.5 seconds cast time. Into answers to attack without hesitation. Damage by 20% and damage taken by 10. All active crowd control attacks. Nice. Mage. Buff. Pass. Okay. Did it? Channel. Select. Do the capacitator. Channel flame slash. Slashes with forming shadow flame as a target, inflicting damage and damage every 8 seconds. Is this channel again, or what is it? So hard to know. These things are really annoying. I think it's always a channel, but it should be something that just creates a dot. Decapacitated doesn't like a nice spell. Go on target. Only the arch. Way better jump jump. Have to avoid the line. Arch it. Yes, it. Why? Earthquake. We hate bolts. True. Picked it. Spread it. Hope this is interruptible, although it might not be. Druid team. Not gonna try. Warlock.
Ein Rift. Gauntlet.
So let's finish this. Enveloping Shadow. And for 50. And then we have the fucking bold ability again. I hate it. Hate it. What did it? What did it? Over this. And then we have the Molten Giant. What is this guy doing? First, he's doing Molten Wake. Just a wave of lava and flash to all enemies, decreasing their fire damage taken by 20%. Yeah. Back. Back. Ah. This is it. Molten. Don't know the cooldown. Let's quickly check. We can figure out the cooldown. That's it twice in the whole dungeon though. Sad. Begins casting at 9:39 and then again at 10:02. So 23 seconds later. Just say 23 seconds. It needs to be fine-tuned, but good enough for now. Then he has Lava Fist. So that's. I think that's it. Do we have any more sprints left? Not. Wait. Let's quickly check if everything is working as it should. I accidentally punched the microphone. Oh, rather the microphone. Okay. Good. Everything is working. Export this. Double check. The dungeon. Sword. Very well. It worked great. For now, I'm gonna take a break though from creating WeakAuras. I hope you enjoyed this stream. Hope you learned something about WeakAuras. If you did, I would love if you left a follow and checked back the next time when we're creating WeakAuras. Maybe later today, maybe also tomorrow. Otherwise, keep an eye on the YouTube for the latest tutorials that I'm gonna upload soon. And besides that, have a great weekend. And hopefully see you soon. Bye.
Out of your